Cheers, I'm Alex. Today I show you the easiest way to copy assets from one map to another in BeamNG. It's quite a hassle to do it manually if you're browsing the files, copy the assets, copy the JSON files, and somehow you get conflicts and stuff like that. And I decided to program a small tool which helps you doing that. So how do you get the tool? The link is of course in the descriptions of this video, but you can go then to GitHub, to my repository, and go to the BeamNG level cleanup, and you can download the latest release, just the zip file, and unzip it. I did it already, so I have it here on my hard disk in a special dedicated folder for my testing. And here's the BeamNG level cleanup downloaded and unzipped, and you have an exe file, you just start it, and the tool opens. So you can see it better. There are several features in the tool, map shrinking, so I explained it in another video, renaming a map so that you have it as an own map with your own name, and it doesn't conflict with vanilla maps or something like that, and the copy assets tool. I go to the copy assets tool, and here you have the possibility to select a file from hard disk. If you have copied a zip level to a special folder, show it to you here. And I go to, for example, to my test cleanup and have a couple of levels and can start it from here. This is the one possibility. The tool tries to find the BeamNG.drive install directory from Steam, if you have a Steam installation. If you don't have a Steam installation, you can select the folder manually, and then you are able to choose the source map you want to copy from via this drop-down menu. Yeah, you see, you can select the file, or you go here and select a vanilla level from BeamNG. For example, I want to copy assets from the automation test track, which is updated in the new 0.28 version. It immediately starts to copy this level to a dedicated folder. It is normally in your user directory and will be created automatically. And then you have, of course, to choose a target level where you want to have these assets. You can use, for example, a level you're working on. For sake of simplicity, I just take another vanilla level, and I take a level where nothing is in, the small grid, so that we can see if it works. Okay, it starts. You see here on the right side that it's unzipping and analyzing the level, which assets are in. And we saw an error message as well, something red. And we can see where the problems are. Okay, it didn't find a property name or something like that. But that doesn't matter. After this analyzing phase, you see all the assets here, which are found in the automation test track level. There are quite a lot, of course. This is the first version of my copy assets tool, so I only had the possibility to copy road decals for your decal roads, and you can copy the decals itself, and you can copy, of course, the 3D assets, the DAE files with all the materials. The good thing with this tool is you can, if you only have one or two assets in mind, you can click it here and it just copies really the files it needs and not the whole folder. So you have a small preview, for example, if you want to see, okay, I need some I don't know here, chalk markings or whatever, you can take a look. A viewer opens, okay, as you can see, you see nothing. Bad example, but perhaps this track edges. Here you see the track edges, for example. You can take a look. Is it the asset I want to have? You say yes, this is cool. And if you like it, you just select it for copying. For the sake of simplicity, I just copy everything now. You choose this arrow marker here. You can search, of course, in the list, but now I copy all the roads, all the decals, and all the 3D assets. So I did it, so I say just copy assets and press copy. Here's, of course, a warning. Yes, always do it with a copy of your project files, stuff like that, so that you don't destroy your hard work. Always use a copy if you use my tool. Please, I advise. I press copy. Now it takes a bit of time because it collects all the data it needs. And here we see as well a couple of error messages. Mostly these error messages are because the files aren't there. Yes, because it takes a look at the JSON files and the paths, and if the file is not there, reflecting the path, it can't copy it. So this is quite often, even in vanilla levels, that there are some errors. But you can take a look at the errors here. It's not that important. Okay, now the assets are copied. And now you could build a zip file of this small grid level with all the other assets inside. I could do it now, but then we really would have a small grid level. If we would put it on mods, it would override the small grid vanilla level, and always if you would open the small grid vanilla level, it would open this mod file with all these assets in. We want to have an own level. Therefore, you can go to this rename map function here. I click here, and you see this is the name of the vanilla level, small grid, but I say it's small grid Alex. And we need this first name is the renaming in the paths, in the file paths of the level. Nobody sees it, but it's very important for the game. And we need a display level for the level chooser in BeamNG. I say small grid Alex with automation. Assets. Okay, so then you have a link here, rename level. Yes, I want to rename it. The renaming is very fast. It's done, and now it's time to build the zip file. You just press it and it starts zipping the deployment file. I call it deployment file here to this directory. You don't have to remind what's written in the box, because we just can go to the working directory. And okay, it's still a 0 kilobyte because it's still zipping. Yes, it's still zipping. We need a bit of time. It takes a bit of time, of course, because there are a lot of assets in the automation level, and I clicked copy all of them. So we just wait a bit. And I drink a bit of beer. You know, it's Saturday afternoon. I have to relax a bit. So come on. Now it's done. You see here's the blue information, and the small grid Alex deploy is zipped with 800 megabytes, and we want to test it, of course. I just move it to the BeamNG 0 to 8 mods folder. There's another one. I delete. This was for testing. Delete it, and we start BeamNG. That's, by the way, the first time I do a YouTube video with me on the screen. I had to learn this OBS tool for making YouTube videos within half an hour or something like that. I hope it works, so we will see. The best thing is if I stop the video and there is no audio or something like that. We will see. Okay. I loaded BeamNG, I go to free roam, and we will see that here you see the small grid Alex with automation assets level is here. So, and it doesn't overwrite the original grid small pure level. Open it. So I have no audio, it doesn't matter. I go to the world editor, and now we want to see, you see it's loading assets quite a lot, so there must be more than only the small grid assets inside. I go to the arts folder here, and for example I go to, we start with shapes. I go to the shapes, and you see there is a folder, it's called MT Automation Test Track. The MT is standing for mapping tools. So everything I copy to a dedicated folder so that we don't have a mix-up or override or something like that. Go there. Oh yes, only a little bit, I don't know why. I'll go back. Yeah, buildings. I go to buildings, and even in the buildings you see the MT Automation Test Track. And I take something here, for example, the building A-frame. And you see you have assets with all the textures from the automation level. Take another one, petrol station here. Okay, you see it works fine. Then we will test the decals. Here's the decal editor. I take the fallen leaves, and as you can see, we have the fallen leaves as decals from the automation level. And now we will test the decal road. So I just paint a small decal road. Okay. And then you have to select the material for the decal road, here with the 3 dots. And I think there are 4 leaves as well, as road. Here they are. Oh, what's happening? That looks really weird. I did something wrong. Again. So now it works. You see, you have 4 leaves now as decal road. Of course, in the small grid level, you don't have a real terrain and stuff like that. It's not the best example because you have all these other nice decals, of course, for asphalt and stuff like that, or dirt. We'll see dirt road 1. Bam. So everything works. That's it. So what I always suggest is, if you really want to do your own project, just don't work only with these zip files. Yes, because what Beam does, if I change things here, you will know it perhaps, but I changed it, I saved the level, and if we go and take a look in the BeamNG folder, the zip file, of course, won't be changed from BeamNG. All the time you change something, you will find it in the levels folder. Yes, in the levels folder you see now a small grid Alex folder, and here are only the changed things from our which I did in the material editor right now. Yes, only a couple of files are changed, the mission group files, stuff like that. Yes, only a little bit. But the problem is, if you don't think about it and make an update, the levels folder gets deleted, something like that, everything is gone. Yes. What you normally do, or most people normally do, they go and copy all these changes here from the smallgrid Alex level. You can just copy everything and copy it into the zip folder again. Then it's there and it works perfectly fine. But if you have a longer project, I would suggest that you take your mod you want to work on. So where is it? Smallgrid Alex. I just exit again, go to this levels folder. Delete the smallgrid Alex thing, doesn't matter. Delete it now. Copy it here. Unzip it here. Okay, wait a moment. So of course it wasn't correct because it's here in the levels folder. I just copy it to the right folder, which is here. I do something stupid. I don't know exactly what. I hate it. Now it works. Okay, here it is. So we don't need this folder. We don't need our deploy file anymore. And now you have the whole level copied to this level folder. And then if you make your adjustments, everything is saved here and you have always a complete working level. And what I do with my project, here you see this LN map level. This is what I'm doing. Don't expect it too soon. I work, everything is saved here, and every evening I make a zip file from this LN level as backup, put it somewhere. You see I have I'm on version 103 right now with my backups. Of course I don't keep them all, but a couple of them. Copy them somewhere and then it's safe. It's really safe to work, and if you lose, you at max lose a day of work and not like other people perhaps weeks of work if they don't back up it. So this is really the advice from my side. Work like that. Don't use this combination of working with the zip file and the changes here in the levels folder. Copy the whole level to this place. Work there. Make your backups in the evening, and then you're perfectly fine. So that's it for this time. In my next video, I explain the shrinking version of the mapping tool, because as I said, it's nice to copy all these assets in your level and do things with it. And most of the people will copy all of the assets. I know it. Yes, we are all too lazy to pick out these 3 assets we perhaps need. We want to have it all. But the problem is if you do it with East Coast and automation and Johnson Valley, and then you have a nice, cool little map and you want to deploy it, and it's perhaps 6 or 8 gigabytes big. Yes. And nobody likes to download these big levels. Just take a look at the forums, you will read it a lot. Therefore, it's the shrinking tool. In the end, you can say you want to shrink your level. You know, you can leave all the assets in your project file and can work with it, but always if you want to deploy it to the forums or something like that, you do this shrinking process. It kills out all the files which aren't needed. So it's very small and lean. And you can deploy it, can upload it somewhere, and you still have your 20 gigabytes project level and you can work with it. So no problem. This is the idea. I explain it the next time. Bye bye. Thank you. Cheers. I say yes to German beer.